Hi Leo, this is Carrie at wooingnature.life. Welcome to the channel and welcome to February. This is the month of love and the month of relating and relationships. So I am going to be talking about relationships today. So we're going to broaden it out a little bit and just look at the people around you, the people that you're relating to, the types of people that you're relating to. And we're going to do that through the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. And then I will follow up by looking into Carolyn Myss's Archetype Cards to talk about how you are relating to the people. So we're looking at the spirit animals to understand the people that you're around, and then we're going to look at the Archetype Cards to see how you're relating to everyone else. And then for the tarot portion, which is where I go for the details, I will be reading from the Tarot of 1001 Nights, which is my go-to deck for love readings because they tell a story. They really can give you a sense of what's happening, and especially when we're talking about relationships. All right, so let's go ahead and get started, Leo. Right now we're looking at the animal natures of the people that are around you, how they're operating around you, what they're doing, how they're moving. Very good. All right, this is for Leo for the month of February, the people that are around Leo for the month of February. Okay, one more. Thank you. All right, interesting array here. We've got the rhino. The rhino has a powerful energy around it, also an ancient energy around it. So I think that it would benefit you to go and read up on the habitat species and the evolution of the rhino, because I think that in this somewhere is the answer to your evolution or the evolution of the people that you are surrounded by. This comes in with the number 50, which breaks down to a 5, which is about change, shifting, transformation, and the things that come with the transformation. So I feel like somebody around you is nudging you or pushing you toward your not just spiritual goal, but your evolutionary goal here. In this card, it says overcome any obstacles. So I think that having these individuals in your presence, or you being able to watch them on a day-to-day basis, is helping you understand how to push through issues or push past some issues that you may have. You're having crow people around you, and crow people are they are very knowledgeable, very smart, very intelligent, but they may not always be the people that everybody wants to be around. They are usually truth tellers. That's because they know and understand both sides, both what you're presenting as well as what you're not presenting. And so these people can come and clarify what's happening in other relationships that you have. They see both sides. And so because they are able to see both sides, they can really bring you some understanding. So these are the people that you would go to for your relationship advice. And then we have the moth people. Now, moth people are mysterious. They are usually can be night people that operate in the night. They are transformational animals, or they're animals that are associated with transformation, particularly if you're transforming from shadow to light, if you're going from shadow to light. So there may be those people around you who are going through this themselves, but there may also be people around you who are helping you understand how you're processing your own shadow side. Okay? All right, so moving right along to Carolyn Myss's Archetype Cards. This is where I'm going to see how you are relating to the people around you. So this is about you now, Taurus. The others around about the other people. This is about you, not Taurus, Leo. Just did Taurus. So I still got them on the brain. This is for Leo. All right, so what do we have here? So I've got a shadow side card. Whenever these cards come in reverse, I read the shadow, and if they come in the upright, I read the light. So we've got a damsel energy. You're operating with damsel energy, but also in shadow rescuer energy, which is a real interesting juxtaposition because damsels are usually the ones who are in distress. They're the ones who need the help. But here we have a shadow rescuer. So I'm going to read that part of the card and see how these two things may be operating. So the damsel understands the nature of healthy romance and inspires you to rely on yourself. So the damsel in the light attribute is about being interdependent with another person as opposed to codependent or just dependent. Okay. And that's about healthy relationships, establishing healthy relationships, and that's what the damsel aspect of you is presenting. Okay, now on the shadow rescuer, it says that assumes that the rescued will reciprocate. So if I'm being rescued, then I want to be rescued back. If I'm doing the rescuing, then I want to be rescued back. So some of this damsel energy is locked up in a shadow side of wanting for someone to reciprocate what you are showing or what you are presenting. But it keeps the person who's being rescued in a needy cycle. So that's what I was talking about the codependency versus interdependency. Okay. So this is something for you to study in the relationships that you're having. Okay. And these people may be pushing you to step outside of your shadow side because we talked about that. And then with the moths, we talked about the transformation from the shadow into the light. In the light attribute of the rescuer, this is a person who provides strength and support to others who are in crisis and acts out of love and doesn't expect anything in return. And I think maybe, Leo, because you're not asking for anything necessarily that's like physical or monetary or material in nature, you feel like it's okay. But the expectation of either being rescued or if you are rescuing, then you want that energy back. Nobody wants to constantly be in a Red Cross situation. Okay. So if you find yourself in these rescue relationships, then there's a Red Cross somewhere there. And when we're talking about the Red Cross, we need healing. Okay. There's medic alert. Okay. So that's what you want to think about in terms of your relationships. If you are not a nurse or a doctor or a healthcare professional, then you probably should not be applying those kinds of skills to your personal relationships. The people that you are in a personal relationship with need to seek their healing from a professional and not from their significant other. That doesn't mean that you're not there to support. It doesn't mean that you're not there to lend an ear when somebody just needs to vent. That's a part of being in a loving relationship, but trying to trade rescue missions with each other that's not going to lead to a healthy relationship. All right, Leo, we're moving right into the tarot portion of this reading. The tarot is where I go to get the details, so we're going to be finding out about the details of Leo's love relationships of all kinds, whichever ones need to be spoken about. Okay. All right, so we've got the Ten of Swords. This is the first card out. The Ten of Swords indicates that there's been a lot of thinking, a lot of talking, a lot of conversation, a lot of everything around a relationship of some sort that may be on the, that needs to end, okay? Once you get to the Ten of Swords place, you probably had it, okay? You've exhausted the situation. You've exhausted the conversation. There's nothing else to be said in relationship to that. We do have the Two of Pentacles in reverse, which means that there was some sort of imbalance in the physical realm. It could be stamina, it could be energy, the type of energy that you're exchanging. It could be something of a sexual nature. It could be something also of a financial nature. Any of that would constitute the realm of Pentacles, right? Some unbalance or imbalance in the home could also be a two of Pentacles in reverse situation. All right, so the wheel represents change. This comes from you being able to reflect, Leo, on yourself, reflect on your own good parts, the good aspects of yourself. This is what's going to allow you to move forward and move on, but you got to do some self-reflecting first before that change is going to happen that you're really looking for. And the change that you're looking for is to go from a Ten of Swords to a Ten of Pentacles, which is when all the good things of life are presented to you in terms of your relationship. So whoever it is that you bond with or that you connect with or that you want to build a relationship with, it's not just the emotional part, but it's you actually being able to build something solid and tangible with your partner in this world, right? So we have an Eight of Swords here. The Eight of Swords to me says that there's somebody coming. Somebody is either just discovering you or noticing you. It's like you've kind of not been there, or you've been hidden away, probably because you were dealing with this Ten of Swords relationship that you were in. But now somebody is discovering you, and they're discovering like a hidden treasure in you, Leo, that they can appreciate. I'm seeing the relationship with the Two of Chalices coming in, budding and growing. You all are sharing some intimate aspects of yourself, some feelings and emotions that you are having or have had in your relationships, which is never a bad thing. Never a bad thing, but you just don't want to, remember I said you don't want them to become some kind of, rescue mission that you don't want to get into again. So I'm going to say that that's a warning shot for you in these two cards, in your desire for this union that's going to be lucrative and that's going to be the things that legacies are made of. It can cause you to jump at something. So you don't want to jump at something. You want to make sure that relationship is really blooming properly, which means that you have fully done all of the work that you need to do to bring about this change in the status of the relationships that you'll have in the future. Again, I see with this Seven of Swords, this normally looks like Seven of Swords is another one of those cards that's not my favorite, because it usually reflects that somebody is trying to take, or somebody is trying to absorb, or trying to get something from you. And I feel like that's what you don't want to invite by not doing that back end work. This is the self-reflection part, and then understanding what it is that you desire, so that when the people come along, you don't end up with people who are just trying to take from your cup and not actually contribute to it, because this is a mutual contribution that you want in the Ten of Pentacles. Whether or not you realize it or not is a different story, Leo. But when you start asking for Ten of Pentacles, you're talking about being able to work with your partner to build. Okay, so if that healing process has not happened, then you draw somebody that you feel that you want to connect with and all of that, but then you end up bringing in this energy of, well, I'm just here to absorb whatever it is that you have to give to me, Leo, and they're not coming with their end of the bargain. It's got to be mutual for a Ten of Pentacles. Mutual exchange of energy in a Ten of Pentacles relationship. All right, Knave of Wands here is a message. Whoever this person is, or however you are, you can't stand off of the relationship and expect to be in the relationship. You can't be up here like here at a distance, expect to really get into a relationship. A lot of times the reason why you're doing that, Leo, is because you don't want to get hurt and you don't want to delve in because you don't want to end up having that repeat situation that you had before. So the reason how you, this is how you stop doing that. How you stop doing that is you do the work, the inner work. If you do the inner work, you don't have to worry about oh, am I going to attract this person? You know, if I don't want to have this experience again. Well, just don't have it. And the reason how you're not going to have it is because you are very conscious and cognizant of what happened. You know the part that you did, both internally and externally. So you know what you felt and you know what you sensed and you know what you thought deep in your quiet self. And then you knew how you responded in the relationship itself. And then you can look at the other person and see how you're relating affected how they related back to you. And then that's how you make the correction. Either for the relationship that you're in, you go back to the person, apologize and say, I know what I did incorrectly. I know how I got off. I would like to try this again with these new mechanisms in place. Now that I know what I was doing, then I would like to try this relationship again with my new information. And if they say no, then you move on because they're not going to do it. Or you may look at the situation and see all of it and say, I was never supposed to be in that relationship because it was only going to do this every time. Okay. So then you can be aware. You can be knowledgeable. You've worked all of that out. And so when the next person comes along and they exhibit those behaviors, then you can have an adult conversation about it. You can say, you know what? I recognize this. And I recognize it as this. I recognize this as a codependent thing. What is it that you really need from me? How can I, as your romantic partner, support you in what you're doing? And let them tell you how you can support them. And then you can decide whether or not you are going to support that person in that way. Because let's say, for example, you're dealing with, this is another codependency. Well, you know, if you can help me get on my feet, then I can help you out with your kids. I'm just throwing something out. And so you say, well, you know, me continuing to pay for the lights and the water and what that's not really working for me. How can I really support you? Well, you can support me by paying my bills. And you'll be like, woo, well, I can't, so I'm not here to pay your bills. So I don't think I can be of support to you. So maybe this relationship isn't what it needs to be. Or is that really what you're asking me to do? Because I felt like this need to be a 50-50 on this. And then we can go 50-50 on the kids too. Something. But I'm just saying, you know, it's about having a conversation. But being clear about you is going to help that conversation not turn into an argument. Or not turning into a round and around where nothing gets resolved. Because that's what happens in relationships. A lot of times you're having a conversation, but you don't get to you're not at the right pivot point within the relationship and the conversation around the relationship because you're not really clear about where you are. So you end up having, you have the conversation about the lack, you're having a conversation around a lack of clarity, and you're not having the conversation within a space of clarity. Okay. So that's all we're saying is to do your self-reflective work so you can come from a space of clarity. And sometimes a space of clarity is not a space of emotion. Space of clarity is when you've had all your thoughts, you've had all your thoughts, you are clear about your emotions. You're clear where that stuff is coming from, how you feel emotionally connected or disconnected. And then it's right in the middle. You know, you're not worked up about it. You're not having to apologize. You're not overreacting to what somebody else is saying. You're not being overly sensitive. You're just like, no, this is what I need. Are you going to do that? You're not going to do that. I can't do that. Okay, well then. I need that. So since I know that I need that and you can't give that, then we should probably be talking about how we're going to adjust the nature of our relationship. It can be that simple. Anything else for Leo on a relationship tip? All right. Leo, if you would like to take a deeper dive, you can reach out to me at Kerri, Kerri, at wooingnature.life. The deeper dive is where we take a look intuitively at your mental, your physical, your emotional, and your spiritual self. And then we go a little deeper into how to heal those aspects of the self that are weak, or how to strengthen, or how to remove, let go, whatever it is that you need to do. We also offer intuitive life management tiers. So if you feel like you need some steady, or if you know that you need consistent help from your intuitive on a regular basis, you can do those tiers too. That's also for those people who are doing some planning, or who are trying to execute a plan that is to change their lifestyle, and they need that accountability, or they need that little push or coaching around that. So we do that too. As always, you can reach out to me through the website wooingnature.life. We are also on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And I hope you have a great February, and I hope you're having a fabulous life.